I'm Teresa Tarn with VIDA Mountain Bike Series. We have teamed up with Shimano to create educational videos that will help you understand your bike setup, Shimano technology, and ultimately, own your ride. Today, I'm going to talk to you about what to look for when choosing a new bike. So today, we'll go over which mountain bike is suited for your riding needs, the main difference between types of mountain bikes, and importantly, what you can expect to spend. I can picture it now. You've decided to buy a mountain bike, your excitement is sky high at the decision to get out on the trails, and then you start the research. If you're wondering what it means to have a trail bike, a hardtail, or why these bikes are so expensive, you aren't alone. Today, we'll talk about the different kinds of mountain bikes and which one may be best for you. It'll be MBD before you know it. New Bike Day. Let's dial in what you're looking for. First, what kind of riding do you expect to do? Are you going to be riding your local trails? Are you using the bike only in downhill bike parks? Or are you traveling a lot with this bike? While you can ride nearly any mountain bike on nearly any terrain, different bikes may make your riding more comfortable and fun. Bikes are built with certain types of riding in mind, balancing climbing and descending on either sides of the spectrum. As you move through the spectrum, you'll see differences in bikes that climb better and ones that descend better. Let's say your plan is to ride your local bike path, which is a mix of dirt and gravel. A bike with less suspension would work well for this riding. Or maybe you're planning to spend time on local intermediate single-track trails. Here in Colorado, that means you're going to get a mix of rolling trails with rocks, roots, and somewhat challenging features. A full suspension bike might suit you well. Maybe you're planning to spend your summers in downhill bike parks. If that's the case, a full suspension bike with more than everyday travel can help you send it. If you're leaning towards full suspension, which go for it, they're awesome, then you'll see a few different categories. There's cross-country, trail, enduro, and downhill. Determining where you are riding will help you pinpoint the right category of full suspension for you. Cross-country bikes generally have less suspension, larger wheels, and are lighter in weight. They'll get you to the top of the climb faster, but may give you a more jarring descent. Trail bikes are the do-it-all option. They will have more suspension than cross-country bike, improving your fun factor on the descent, and may have a lockout option on the suspension, creating efficient pedaling to get you to the start of the descent. Enduro bikes take the suspension a notch further than the trail bike. You'll have a more plush ride downhill, floating through the rock gardens and hitting those jumps with ease. You'll have a smidge more weight to push uphill, but if you're looking for downhill speed that balances overall rideability, this is the bike for you. Finally, downhill bikes can be described in their name. They are meant to go downhill and fast. They are heavy, have an extreme amount of suspension, weren't designed with uphill pedaling in mind, and are generally reserved for use in downhill bike parks or downhill-specific trails. Let's chat briefly about what all these references to suspension mean. Backing up to the basics, mountain bikes are bicycles that are designed to go off-road. Mountain bikes can be grouped into three main suspension-based categories: fully rigid, hardtail, and full suspension. Fully rigid is just what it sounds like, an off-road bike without suspension. Examples of this are gravel bikes or a snow bike. Full suspension bikes have, well, full suspension. They have both a shock and a fork. And in between these two options are bikes that have only front suspension, known as hardtails. For many of you, the decision is going to be, do I go with a hardtail or a full suspension? And/or, what type of full suspension? Hardtails are a great option for those looking to spend a little less and ride less rowdy trails. We covered bike components in another video. Be sure to check that out for details on your bike's group set. Let's talk budget. It's a good idea to set a budget when shopping for a mountain bike. You can find options ranging from $500 to $10,000 and everything in between and even beyond those limits. Factors that affect costs are the amount of suspension, the material of the frame, components on the bike, also known as the build, and whether the bike is new or used. In general, the more complicated the bike is, the more you are going to spend. Pricing out a hardtail is going to be less costly than a full suspension, assuming the bike is of a comparable build. Why? It's just a simpler bike with less moving parts compared to a full suspension. The vast majority of mountain bikes are either carbon or aluminum. Aluminum is an easier material to work with and cheaper to manufacture, making aluminum bikes generally less expensive. Carbon frames take advantage of technology to offer an incredibly strong material that is also light and stiff. You're going to pay for these perks though. The components of a bike can be the gotcha moment for sellers. If you see two bikes that look identical but have different drivetrains, you can be looking at a cost difference of up to $2,000. Check out our video on Shimano technology for more information on bike components. And now, the used or new question. Let's look at the benefits of both. When you're looking at a used bike, they're generally at a lower price point. They can be certified used, meaning they've been inspected and they pass a professional standard. They can be a quicker purchase as you're not waiting on bike manufacturers. When looking at a new bike, it's new. You won't have any wear and tear. You won't have to worry about its history. And also, some manufacturers and bike shops include a warranty with the original purchaser of a new bike. Both new and used are solid options. If you're checking out used bikes, there are some things to look out for though. 1, make sure you're purchasing from a reputable seller. 2, check the bike frame for any cracks or major scratches. And 3, check the bike components for damage. Do you see signs of wear on the suspension? Does the bike shift, brake, turn like it's supposed to? And that's it. Love this video? Like, share, and subscribe. And look for more videos from Shimano and VIDA mountain bike series so you can own your ride.